So thankfully, somebody in the room actually just asked me, so are you going to introduce yourself today? Because I didn't do that yesterday. And my name is Liz Baxter, and I am the CEO here at North Sound ACH, and have been in this role for October was 8 years, and it has been an incredible journey to be on here. But really, you all being in this room is the reason that the ACH exists. So just appreciate you all carving out the time to be here, because I know you could probably be one or two other places instead of being here. So I get the joy of just kind of getting us started. Can I just ask how many of you were not here yesterday? All righty. So for those of you who were here yesterday, this might feel like a bit of a repeat, but I just think that it's really important for us to make sure that we are grounded in kind of why it is that we do what we do. So I'm going to start with our land acknowledgement. And yesterday I, called on somebody and just said, "Will you read this?" But I'm going to do it today. And before I do it, I just want to share that this land acknowledgement statement was created in partnership with the tribes. So, there are many organizations, many websites, many entities that have land acknowledgement statements, and it was important for us, and Candace Wilson, if any of you know Candace, was integral in putting this together. We have a tribal alignment committee that's a part of our board that adopted this land acknowledgement statement. So I just want you to know it's not coming from us and our team. It came from some work that happened in partnership with our tribal partners. So we begin by acknowledging with humility that the land where we are today is the territory of the people of the Salish Sea. Their presence is imbued in the waterways, shorelines, valleys, and mountains of the traditional homelands of the Coast Salish people since time immemorial. And so there's two pieces I want to point out. One is the since time immemorial. It means before there were written words. This is like for all time. And that's a really significant piece of this. And there is a link, and you all will get copies or access to copies of these slides, for a website that got created by the University of British Columbia, where you can actually just put in your address, which sometimes I do. I grew up in the Bronx, so I'll put in my address in the Bronx and go so which tribal land was I on when I had no idea that that was the case? But it's a really interesting thing because we're all sitting on tribal land. And so just encourage you to, when you get a chance, to use that link. I'm not going to actually read all of these out loud to you, but really it's coming into space like this, acknowledging that we all carry, whatever happened yesterday or a week ago or a month ago with us into the room. And so this notion of being kind to each other, being curious, learning from each other and with each other is really important. We're not going to come to agreement on things, whether we're talking political, societal, or anything else. Our intention today isn't to get us to agreement. It is to continue building community and for us to see those strengths that we have with each other if we can actually set ourselves up in a way to do that. There are a couple of logistics that I'm going to mention before I talk about kind of how the day is going to go, but we do have some rooms reserved, and so if you went out and you went left, the restrooms are down that way, and on the other side of the hallway there is what is labeled as a business room. So if you need to step out, take a call, you need to step out, jump on a Zoom thing, there's a room for that. If you go further down the hall, there's actually a quiet room, and we want you to not conflate the two. The quiet room is really for folks who just need to step away from the noise. If you just need a space to be quiet, there is actually a space there as well. There is a business room in the hotel for anybody who just needs to hop on a computer. You don't have your computer, you need to print something. There is some space in the hotel for that as well. And there is a breastfeeding, chest feeding room. And it is actually, I believe, the hospitality room. So you need a key card in order to get into that space. You can either get the key card from the front desk, and if you want to have one of our staff kind of escort you, it's Ashley, and she's standing up back there if you need to get into that space. And we've got a sign on the door so that if somebody's in there, you'll know that it's in use or it's not in use. Just wanting to make sure that you all know you can move about the cabin, as you need to do that. So yesterday was an incredibly full day. And so today, this is kind of how our day is going to flow. The Setting Sun Institute is going to tell you about their launch and just the work that is happening there. It's going to be followed by both a film and a panel talking about the Native Transformation Project. And so we're really excited for that panel. Those two things are probably going to flow together somewhat because one of the people on the panel about the Setting Sun Institute is also on the panel about the Native Transformation Project. So you get to ignore me for probably a good chunk of the morning, and they're going to carry that work through. Similar to yesterday, we have both some things we're announcing from the ACH, and we've asked several partners to just give us some spotlight so that you get to see the flavor of who else is in this room with you. And so we've got partners queued up at various times throughout the day to do that. We'll have lunch, and if any of the folks from the hotel are in the room, they've been taking really good care of us. So, appreciate if you see any of them, if you just let them know and say thank you, because they've been doing really wonderful things. And then we're honored to have Becky Payne here from the Ripple Foundation after lunch, who's going to talk to us about what it means to be turning towards each other. And the ACH has a number of intertwined frameworks that we use. So for those who were here yesterday, we start with honoring tribal sovereignty. We have equity, targeted universalism, belonging. We have some work around the vital conditions for well-being and leading with love. Those things are not separate in separate columns, segmented from each other. They're all intertwined in the work that we do. And so yesterday you got to hear about some of those. Today you're going to hear about some of those others. They are all bound together for us in why we do what we do.